everyone, it's Elizabeth from Fern Creek Stickers, and I am here to plan out the week of September 5th. So let's start by flipping back and looking at how last week turned out. So let's see, I've got to go over September. So here's last week. So I used kind of the last summer kit, really bright and colorful. One thing I had fun doing every day, I layered some stickers over the full box, which was a lot of fun and a fun way to fill up the space. So I do have deco again this week, so I will probably do some of the same. So it was a busy week where I have fewer check marks than I hoped. I just had things come up and things took longer than planned, so didn't get quite as much done as I'd hoped, but that's okay. I did have some really productive days, and it was a busy week for Fern Creek stuff, so everything kind of ends up balancing out. So there was last week, so let's go ahead and pull out the pages that I need for this week. All right. So this week I have the Change is Beautiful kit. So this is my first fall kit of the year. And I also have my custom scripts here as always. I'm actually gonna leave them right there so that they don't get buried under my other stickers. So I will start off by putting in my brain dump page. And again, this is working out very well for me. And I did put these stickers up in the shop. Right now I've got brain dump and this week are the two options that I have up, and I kept them the same size. I asked on Instagram and pretty much everyone said they wanted them this size instead of bigger, so I kept them this size, and I do think it makes it is a more versatile size like this. They're a little small on the bottom washi, but it isn't bad, and you could definitely layer these over smaller washi too. I got an eyelash underneath there. All right, so there's my brain dump, all ready to go for the week. And now let's go through getting the base for the week set up, and I will tell you about what happened this last week. So one of the eventful things, which I'd mentioned before, was that it was Luna's annual vet appointment. So we went to the vet, and the first thing that was funny is she does not love the cat carrier, and previously we had kind of tricked her by, like, she doesn't go in the cat carrier very much. So there'd been, like, last year when it was time for her annual appointment, we just put it out a few days early so she didn't freak out when she saw it, and she was so used to it that she was just going in there and like taking naps and was like, oh, thanks for this little cave, this is amazing, thanks people. And so then I got super lucky, and the day we were going to the vet, she was in there like an hour before the appointment taking a nap, so I just zipped it up and we were ready to go. So that was pretty amazing last year. So we tried the same thing this year. We put the carrier out a few days ahead of time, and she sniffed around it, but she didn't go in. So maybe she does remember what the cat carrier means. And we actually, when we moved, we couldn't get her in the cat carrier at all, and we ended up putting her in a U-Haul box, which is pretty funny. It's a very short drive, so she was not in the U-Haul box for very long, and she could see me the whole time I was driving her. But anyway, so we put out the cat carrier, but she did not go for it at all. So she has, I've probably mentioned this before, she has a few places she likes to hang out upstairs. She's got her room, which is what's going to be the nursery. So it's not going to be her room for too much longer. But there's also, we have a guest room. And right now the closet in there, it just has all the drawers to this dresser. And we need to move them out because the dresser is still in the garage. It's super heavy. It's from Brian's like bachelor bedroom set. And so it matches the bed and the nightstands that are in the guest room, but we don't have room for the dresser in there, and the dresser is really big and really heavy, and also, as Brian's pointed out too, it has small drawers, so it wasn't a very practical dresser. So we haven't quite figured out what to do with it, but I think we'll probably just get someone to come pick it up and we'll donate it. So anyway, we've got this big dresser that's in the garage, but we'd moved at some point when we were moving, we moved all the drawers up into the guest room closet. So the closet just has drawers in it. And Luna loves to hang out there, and she like goes into a back corner kind of behind all of the drawers. So that's one of the places, you know, when you're like, where's Luna? I wonder where she is. Oh, let me see if she's in her closet. And so I knew, and she often goes there in the mornings. So I knew that and her vet appointment was in the morning. So I knew that I was concerned that she was gonna go in the closet and prevent me from, oh, actually that's okay. Monday's a holiday, so I only need 2. So anyway, yeah, so I was concerned that she would go in the closet and it would be hard for me to get her out of there. So a couple days before going to the vet, I closed the closet door just to be sure that she wouldn't go in there and while I was thinking about it. But then the next day, she got in by herself. So it turns out she can open the closet door. I'm not sure how she does it. We've seen her open cabinet doors, but the closet door seems harder. But somehow she opened the closet door and got in there. So then the same thing on Thursday morning, or I guess on Wednesday night, I closed it again to make sure she wouldn't get in. And on Thursday morning, sure enough, she was in the closet, and I had thought about putting a chair in front of it or something to try to block her from being able to get in, but I didn't, and she got in the closet. So it was a little before it was time to go to the vet, and she was in the closet. So I couldn't just get to her because all the drawers were in the way. So I very carefully and quietly moved all the drawers out of the closet while I was talking to her, and she seemed pretty chill about me taking all the drawers out. And it's probably for the best because I do need to vacuum that corner where she always sleeps because there is a lot of fur back there. But anyway, so I got all of the drawers out, and then she was kind of half asleep, and I scooped her up and got her in the cat carrier. So that was all good. So I got her in the cat carrier without incident because Brian had wanted to help me wrangle her just in case there was a problem, but he had an early meeting at work, so he was going to work super early, and it would have been too early to put her in the cat carrier, so because we couldn't have her in there for too long. So got in the cat carrier, went to the vet, you know, and she meowed at me the whole way in the car. Poor kitty cat. But anyway, so the thing that I mentioned before, it was that she's had some mats that we've been having trouble getting rid of. But we've been hesitant to take her to the groomer because we've heard that a lot of times groomers will end up sedating cats, and we weren't sure how she would handle it. And so we were kind of like, well, we need to take care of it, but we're not sure. So fortunately, the vet offered to shave her for us, which was good because I trust that the vet, I mean, just that most groomers are mostly handling dogs, so they just don't have as much experience with cats. And at the vet's office, they know how to handle cats. So I was really happy when the vet said that they could shave her. So poor Luna now, she looks really funny because she's shaved. The mats were mostly like kind of on her hindquarters, like her back legs on either side. It's kind of where she lays down. She likes to like flop on her side a lot. So that's mostly where the mats were. So like her back top half is all shaved, and then the rest of her is not. And I mean, she's got pretty long hair, so she does look really funny right now. But fortunately, I mean, it's only been a few days, and you can already tell that her fur is starting to grow back. So she is definitely starting to look better, but it'll be a little bit before she's back to normal. But I'm very glad. I know that Luna's got to feel better having those mats gone, and I feel better now that we don't have to try to deal with them because it was just too hard for us to manage to get fixed. So I think it was a win-win for everyone, but poor Luna looks a little bit sad right now. So that was one of the big adventures from the week. And then obviously for Fern Creek, it was a busy week with the advent calendar pre-sale starting and also the new releases. So I had a lot going on for Fern Creek this week, but all very good and exciting stuff and fun, really fun stuff because everybody is really excited about that stuff, and it gets me excited too. Well, I guess I'm already excited about everything. And oh, this is funny too. So it is college football season starting, and so Brian and I don't really care about college football that much, but I do like the thing that's fun though is like being on campus when they're setting up for football games. Like again, I could care less about the football, but I love the excitement and energy in the air, and so I kind of like how excited other people get, even though I really don't care about what they are getting excited about. But my brother-in-law is a big LSU fan, and so my new niece, it's just so funny to me that they already had like a newborn sized LSU onesie for her ready to wear this weekend for baby's first LSU game. And they said too, she's not allowed any TV except when LSU is playing football, then she can watch TV. So my brother-in-law is a diehard fan, and my sister has kind of become a fan by proxy. Although it's also, this is funny too, because when they started dating, and then I moved to Auburn, and my sister was like, well, my boyfriend is an LSU fan, and obviously you're going to be an Auburn fan, so I need to pick an SEC team to root for. And she was like, well, how about Alabama? I mean, they win the most, so obviously they should be my team. And Jefferson and I are both like, no, you can't pick Alabama. You can pick any other SEC team, but you can't pick Alabama to root for. I get your logic, but anybody else. So one big house project that we have been working on, which is we finally finished this weekend, we've been working on it the last 4 weekends, is getting, so we have these on our, like outside our front door, and then also we have a patio. So we have a patio that comes off our kitchen, but then there's also a sidewalk that like goes around the side to the garage, and it's all covered. And it's really nice, like the way that it all flows together is really nice, and especially where my garden's gonna be, it means it's easy for me to get to the garden, to the garage from the garden for tools and stuff. So it's all a really good setup, but it's, both of them have this unfinished wood underneath it. And maybe I already talked about this, because it seems, now that I'm explaining it, like maybe I talked about this before, but anyway, it's got this really pretty unfinished wood, but it was supposed to get sealed, but we're not sure that it ever actually got sealed, and we've been having issues with carpenter bees making some holes in it. So Brian had worked to get all the carpenter bee holes filled, and then he wanted to seal it with polyurethane, which all makes sense. And it's the kind of project that like we do it once now, and then hopefully we won't have to worry about it again for a very long time. So it's, you know, a lot of work up front, but hopefully that upfront work is going to pay off. But it means that this was a really big project because it was a lot of wood, and we were doing 2 coats, and I was helping because it's so hard to see when you're doing a clear coat of polyurethane and you're up on a ladder. It's really hard to see where you've been. So I was like the ground crew looking to see where Ryan had been and if he'd missed spots. But that's hard too, because I had to move around a lot to be able to get at the right angle to see what was going on. So it was definitely a challenging project, and we are both very glad to have that done. We got that finished up this weekend, which was definitely good because yeah, we're glad to have that finished. But I guess the thing that then Brian was talking about, and I was like, oh yeah, it's kind of funny that we have already done a lot of house projects, even though it's a new house. But the good thing is, I think the good thing about doing house projects on a new house is that they're mostly things that we aren't gonna need to do again. We're not fixing things, we're kind of doing things for the first time. And because some of it's stuff that, like, I mean, our builder could have done, and we would have paid our builder to do it, and then instead we just did it ourselves. So stuff like putting up towel bars and toilet paper holders in all the bathrooms. Mostly our builder didn't do that because we just, we hadn't made the selections in time, and then we were kind of like, well, actually we could do this ourselves, so we might as well just wait. So that was one like that, and yeah, putting up the blinds, and there have been some landscaping things. So we actually have done kind of, I would be, looking back in time, I wouldn't have said like, oh yeah, in the first, I don't know, 8 months living in the house, we would have already done a lot of home projects, but we have. So continuing to work on, yeah, I mean, the new house is kind of a base, and there's still lots of projects to be figured out. All right, so that is the base for the week. So let's go back through now and fill in the day by day. Okay, so nothing to fill in there. So Monday, all right, gotta get my stickers all situated here. Okay, I'm done with those, Get stuff out of the way that I do not need. All right, so Monday is a day off, so I'm always taking forever to find these scripts on here, especially if it's one that I haven't used before. So Labor Day, and actually I'm wondering if I want to put that on a bigger sticker. And I'll just just put it like this. Oh no, maybe let me try layering it with one of the deco stickers. So I'll put that up there. Oh yeah, this is gonna be perfect. Yeah, that looks cute. And it's nice, it's always nice to actually have a day off on days that I teach, because like if I teach Tuesday, Thursday, it doesn't feel like I'm not really missing anything because there's not class. But that's the good thing about being married now, is in the past, if I was just like working at home, I would just work. I wouldn't take these days off. But now it's like Brian has the day off, so I might as well take the day off too. I'm not just gonna skip that. So, okay, so Monday, the big thing is that we're having some of Brian's colleagues over for dinner. So I've mentioned this before. They have Germans. They have a like sister plant in Germany that they work with, and they are the Germans and Americans go back and forth to help each other, and there's Germans here to work on a project. And so Brian likes to have the Germans over when they come, and I'm glad to do that, especially because a lot of the Germans have him over to their houses when he goes to Germany, and I'm glad that they take care of him. So we will have the Germans over for dinner. All right, not that I'm writing Germans for dinner, though. It makes it sound like we are eating Germans, which is not the case. And then also with this, you're gonna see, I'm not gonna put dinners in this week because I'm just gonna we're making enchilada casserole, and I'm gonna make a second enchilada casserole, and we're just gonna have that every night this week. It's one of our favorites. It's pretty healthy, and it's easy, and especially easy to double. So, and again, we don't mind leftovers, so we're just gonna have enchilada casserole every night. Then Tuesday, okay, so then this is gonna be weird. My first work day of the week, I will be working from home, so just have to, yeah, the Monday off thing, you know, gets you a little discombobulated sometimes. And okay, actually nothing scheduled for Tuesday, so that's pretty easy. I'll go back and put my to-dos in at the end and speed you up through those, because those take a while to do. Okay, so now we get to busy days. So let me put in, so I've got my classes and office hours, which I guess I only have one office hours this week. And I need to put that in so I can write in stuff around it. Yeah, so Wednesdays are definitely a busy day, and that's one thing I'm realizing after this last week. I wasn't quite realistic about how much I could actually get done on these campus days, especially because I end up having other meetings and stuff come up. If a student wants to meet with me, I'll suggest to meet with me on a day that I'm on campus. So and they end up just being full days. So I tried this week with figuring out my to-dos to be a little bit more realistic about what I can get done, and knowing that I always too can always do more if I have extra time to do more, but it's better to, I feel like, have realistic expectations about what I'm going to get done in a day. And then I will have book club and Bible study. Bible study last week, we actually, there were several people who were sick, and so there were several people who were sick, so the only two of us showed up. But then the sad thing was the two of us that showed up, we actually don't go to the church where the Bible study is. We go to different churches. And the door was locked, and we didn't have a key and couldn't get in and couldn't call anybody to let us in because we didn't know the right people to call. So we ended up not having Bible study, and Leanne, who was the other woman who was there, she was like, well, we could just sit outside and do it. And I was like, I really want to have Bible study, but it is 93 degrees and I am 6 months pregnant, and I am not sitting outside right now. I'm sorry. So we chatted for a few minutes and then went home. All right, so that is everything for Wednesday. Then Thursday, okay, so Thursday, I have a doctor's appointment, and this is, I'm doing the glucose test. So this will be a little bit of a longer one, But the nice thing is I do really appreciate that at the OB's office I go to, they do everything in-house. So I don't have to go like to a separate lab to get the glucose test done. I can just do it in the office, and then I have my doctor's appointment right afterwards. So it all works out really well and is pretty convenient. So now I'm looking for the doctor's appointment sticker. Doctor. There it is. But I'll be sitting there for a while, so I'll need to make sure I bring stuff with me to do. And then I will have small group in the evening. Did I not pull a script for small group? I'm just like making sure that I didn't put it in a totally wrong place. I feel like every plan with me recently I've been missing some script that I have forgotten to pull. Let's see, is it hiding behind? It might be. I've got some of these, I've got double pockets. Aha, there it is. Or I've got two multiple sheets in a pocket. Okay, so small group on Thursday night, and that should be everything for Thursday. And then Friday is again one of my full days with a lot going on. But Friday, the thing that is nice about Fridays with my schedule this semester, I'm glad I didn't put office hours on Friday, because I knew from past experience that like Friday afternoon no one's gonna come to office hours anyway. But I really like, I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but I would rather work a little later on Fridays and just get things done and feel like I'm leaving for the weekend with a really complete list of things. And so that's been really nice to stay. I've often been staying a little bit later on Fridays, or often. We've had only a few weeks of class so far, but staying a little bit later on Fridays and really getting everything done and feeling like I'm going into the weekend with a fresh start. And that's like in grad school, I did the same thing, because usually I'd meet people for dinner at like, we'd go out for dinner at like 7 on Friday, so I would just stay and work until then and then head out. And yeah, so it's nice to have open Friday afternoons for the most part, although I'm gonna have a meeting every other Friday afternoon, but that's okay. It's a good meeting that I enjoy, so I'm happy to do that. And then my workout there, and then I will put grocery shopping, which probably is more gonna happen like there. Oh, good, I found that one pretty quickly. And then I want my grocery bag doodle. There it is. And then I also want to, I was looking to see if there's a good, I don't have like a camera or anything on here. I will use this sticker, and I'm gonna film a day in the life. I want to try, I've never done one on a day that I'm on campus, and I don't know how much I'll feel comfortable filming or be able to film, because there's some stuff like, you know, stuff with classes and students I obviously can't film. I'm kind of wary in general of filming stuff on campus, but I want to show what like a day working in my office looks like, because I haven't done that before. So I am planning to film a day in the life on Friday. And then Saturday, I've got my workout, and then nothing is planned. And Sunday, actually I'm gonna go ahead and put this at the time that it's more realistically gonna happen. And then church. So yeah, so that is everything except for my to-dos. So I will go ahead and write those in now and speed you through those. that is how this week turned out. I really like this kit. I'm happy with how it turned out. Again, really happy to be back in my daily duo. It is definitely a good planner for me right now, especially on these really busy days where I have a lot going on. So I hope that you, if you're in the US and have Monday off, that you had a really great long weekend. And I hope that you have some good things ahead of you in this hopefully short week. I'll see you all again soon. Bye everyone.